Ah, finally. You're confused, and small wonder. After you collapsed, Emmett's self vanished. Then Reen did what she could to stay the raging of the light within your body. Thanks to her, you're still you, but she's only delayed the inevitable. You're not going to like what you see, but you still need to see it. It's like this all over. The whole of Norvrad is shrouded in light again. And it's because of you, and the power you absorb from the Wardens. No one knows but your friends. When they carried you down from the mountain, they told everyone waiting below that they didn't understand why the light had returned. Now they're out there trying to allay the people's fears, while searching for a way to save you. If you're well enough to be up, you're well enough to get some fresh air. Better that than stewing in here. Go on. Go. The people of this city have spirit, I'll give them that. They've not lost the will to fight. I can imagine how torn you must feel, looking at that sky, knowing what it means to everyone, and that you're responsible. If you're thinking of coming clean, don't. It might make you feel better, but it would make things 100 times worse for them. They're better off not knowing. You're in a corner, and there doesn't seem to be any obvious way out. That doesn't mean it's over. However hopeless it seems, you haven't lost yet. I remember looking up at the sky like this before. Being caught up in a strange kind of calm. It was after we realized we were responsible for the flood, when we resolved to journey to the source by taking our own lives. One last sacrifice, one last fight, one last failure. And then the Oracle appeared and, well, you know the rest. There were times in the years and decades that followed when I wondered if we might not have been better off just letting the rejoining happen. That we'd made one last mistake. But seeing that giant Talos stir to life cured me of any doubts I still had. Always we took the burden of fighting upon ourselves. That's what heroes do, isn't it? So we never had the chance to see anything like that. Our people coming together as one. To think that their hope still burned so bright. That they were still so eager to live, they would lift up their fellows, one on top of the other, till they reached the sky. No. We made the right decision. And I can finally feel proud of the part we played in helping this world survive. Well, come on then. As I thought, what happened between us was no coincidence. My story may be finished, but the fates have gifted me a minor role in yours. I suspected as much the moment I realized you could hear me. But it's hard not to doubt yourself when you're the man who caused the flood. I was afraid to do anything more than watch for fear of making things even worse. But no longer. After all, the path I once walked is now yours to finish. For what it's worth, I cast my lot with yours. If you need a push, I'll be right there behind you. If you lose control, I'll do my best to stop you. So, let us be about it, hero.
You were up here all alone, brooding and fretting and wallowing in your woes. But look at you, grinning at nothing like a pollen-drunk pixie. Look at what you've done to your ether. It's a mess. And you have cracks running all through that pretty soul of yours. My poor little sapling. Whatever am I to do with you? Shall I yield up my throne? You could claim it, cut ties with the mortal world, hide away in the castle. It won't fix the problem, but would it really matter? If any pesky heroes come calling with steel and magic, all of Il Meg will rise up in your defense. My crown and scepter are yours, if you want them. What? Don't give me that look! Of course I knew before I asked that you'd never ever heed such a wicked suggestion. And besides, what would become of my precious and ephemeral flower? Oh, my dear beloved sapling. You are lost, confused, and have precious little time to gather your wits. Your kind is always so preoccupied with what lies ahead, and so we muddle your vision with fog and glamour. But such trickery is easy to see through. Stand very, very still. Think not of where you need to go, but where you are right now at this moment, at this time, in this place. Our cairn of crystal. From shadowed hood he watched you go, his ruby eyes with warmth aglow. See yourself as he saw you, and that shall be the clearest clue. You stand in his garden, dear sapling. Ask his flowers what they know, and you will surely find an answer. But what will you do with it, I wonder? I'll be watching and waiting. Waiting and watching.
I have unlocked the door to the umbilicus. You are free to enter. Once you have what you require, I'll see it sealed once more. Until then, I will remain without.
A moment to collect my thoughts, I prithee. Thy true name is Grahatia, then. By thy claims, thou too art a native of the Source, though from an age beyond our own, when the 8th umbral calamity hath visited devastation upon our star. Thou hast, by subtle means, reached across the boundaries of time and space to unsow the seeds of catastrophe, ere its creeping vines drag our champion unto an early grave.
In essence, yes. A difficult story to swallow, I am sure.
I doubt not the veracity of thy words, not the account of thy coming, nor that of the fated calamity. Yet my mind straineth still to apprehend the enormity of this tale. Wouldst thou favor me with a gradual unfolding of its chapters?
Certainly. But where to begin? I should start with those great minds who survived the calamity, Cid Garland being perhaps the greatest. In hopes of staying the unending tides of war, he and his fellows pursued all manner of possible solutions. One of these was rooted in a theory which unified several fundamental principles discovered over the course of the Warrior of Light's adventures. It proposed a method by which one could enter the River of Time, traverse the rift, and leap between worlds. Perfecting that idea, however, was a work which consumed their lifetimes, and thus was it left to future generations to decide whether theory would be put into practice. But all the while, the world continued to burn. Hope was a feeble outpost, beset on all sides by thievery and misery and murder. People cried out in despair, "There is no hope! We are finished! Mankind is finished!" Then others raised their voices in answer. Though we be beyond salvation, those who came before may yet be saved. We will forge a crossroads and pave the way for a different future. By the wisdom of our forebears, we will prevent this calamity from ever having come to pass. The fighting went on unabated, but some few took up Cid's research and labored to realize those impossible ideas. After 2 centuries of labor, their descendants finally succeeded in awakening the Crystal Tower, an integral part of the process, and, in doing so, roused its caretaker, me. By this stage, scholars had largely established the phenomena underpinning the rejoining, and identified the first as the shard which precipitated the 8th umbral calamity. This grand structure was already capable of storing the energies required to attempt the translocation. All that remained was to augment some few of its functions based upon the theoretical models of Cid and his compeers.
And by means of such technologies didst thou effect thine arrival in the first, to an age before this star had joined with the Source.
Some while before, as it turned out. 'Tis all but impossible to predict how time will flow between one world and the next, and we missed our mark by almost an entire century. But this only worked in our favor. The Sin Eaters could not be defeated without the blessing of light, and summoning the only man who might stand a chance against them would require decades of preparation.
An undertaking of scarce credible endurance. That thou hast kept thy plan from falling into disarray these many years bordereth on the miraculous. Yet howsoever history be rewritten, thy present self was shaped by events which followed the calamity. Should said catastrophe be averted, the very skein of thine existence will unravel. Surely thou hast foreseen this.
I am aware of the consequences. 'Tis for that very reason Cid and his colleagues bequeathed their legacy as an offering, and not an edict. To give all of oneself for the happiness of others, and with no promise of reward, 'tis a hard thing to ask. Harder still for those condemned to survive in a world which pitted brother against brother. Indeed, you are right to call the execution of this plan miraculous, though the force which held it together was nothing so inexplicable. It was him. The warrior of light has been our unbroken thread. Where others would stumble and fall, he would rise above. Where others would break and run, he would carry on. The warrior of light's tale is one of unyielding bravery. To tell it was to feel courage. To hear it was to feel hope. It was a breath of inspiration in an age of suffocating shadow. In the histories of a fallen nation was our hero hailed as its greatest ally. In the time-worn pages of a noble's memoirs were his deeds joyously retold. For many, these stories were the flame which warmed them through the coldest of nights. And so it should come as little surprise that the plan found no shortage of volunteers, concerning as it did the warrior of light himself. It was their chance to add their own verse to the hero's saga. He was the lodestar that brought them all together, to send their final message back through time and space to him. The light of your legacy was our torch in the darkness. Burn bright again and live. I am merely the bearer of that wish, come to ensure it is safely delivered.
Wherefore sharest thou this burden with me and no other? What wouldst thou have me say?
That you will be my accomplice? 'Twas you yourself who convinced me of your suitability when you spoke of how you learned of the Flood and of your part in arranging Minfilia's journey to the First. Your actions showed uncommon resolve. 'Twas clear you were committed to the cause of saving this world. I knew I could trust you to choose the right path forward, even if that choice came with a heavy price.
What price?
When all is said and done, and the last of the Light Wardens lies slain, I will absorb their corrupted ether, and then I will die. Knowing what I know of your companions, not to mention your champion, they will try to stop me. But in saving one, they would save none. Therefore, I implore you to aid me in concealing my identity and ensuring this tale ends as it must. To this end, I would have you take what I have told you of the Calamity and make of it a portent, a prophetic vision you beheld in the swirling chaos of the Rift.
Is this truly thy wish?
History remembered the Warrior of Light, as I knew it would, and I will suffer no other to rescue the champion whose star has charted my course. I will see this tale to a happy end, my friend. There has been enough tragedy.
careful now. If you lose control again, the light could claim you for good. Although it's probably only a matter of time before you succumb to the change in any case. What do you mean to do? We should be on our way. Dacian mentioned the Tempest, did he not? That's the stormy seas around Calusia to you. His lair must be down there somewhere, hidden beneath the waves.
You reconvene with the Scions to discuss further plans.
Ah, we have found thee. Word reached us of thy recovery, and thus did we gather with all haste. Ah. By thy looks, I gather thou hast gleaned that which I came to tell thee.
Urianger has shared everything with us. The Exarch's true identity and purpose.
I offer no excuses. When I agreed to aid the Exarch with his plans, 'twas in full acceptance of the condemnation I would face when my duplicity was laid bare. Yet it is not rancor, but resolve that I sense in thee. Thou art fully intent upon walking thy path to its end, art thou not? If thou canst forgive my deception, or, failing that, set aside thy displeasure for a time, I do beg leave to follow thee. What strength and wisdom I possess are thine to command. I thank thee. Doubt not but that I will do all in my power to repay thy kindness and fulfill the Exarch's wishes.
I'm sorry, but I don't think this is a good idea. Leaving the Crystarium, I mean, with or without Urianger. What I did for you won't last forever. There's no telling when the light will break free again. Please, you must stay here. At least for a little while longer. We will find a way to cure this, I promise you.
How can you make promises? We don't even know where to start.
Alize, please. You know Reen was only trying to help.
Of course I know! I know only too well! But making promises you have no way of keeping is not a kindness. It's a lie. Plain and simple. We've all searched high and low for an answer, and every one of us came back empty-handed. I am not about to stand in his way now. Not after failing him in his hour of need. No! The least we can do is...
We will go with you as well. There is naught to be gained by standing still.
Indeed, we have exhausted every other avenue. Lead, and we shall follow.
If there is any hope to be found, then we will surely find it at your side.
Are we all in agreement then?
Is there aught we can do to help?
Though we may not know the whole story, we do know you're in for a fight. And while the Exarch's away, it falls to the rest of us to see the Warrior of Darkness is given a proper send-off.
You told them!
No! Well, not in so many words.
Right, we didn't need it spelled out for us. When the night sky appeared over whichever place you went to, it was harder not to put two and two together.
From the moment I heard that you and the Exarch shared the homeland, I had my suspicions. Long had he been waiting for a certain someone to arrive, and I knew at once that it must be you.
Exactly. When he went up to meet you, it was clear it was no ordinary visitor. That spring in his step spoke volumes. I could feel his excitement.
That's right!
We do not fully understand where you or the Exarch hail from, or why you've all done so much to protect us. But we are deeply grateful nonetheless. So, if there is anything at all we might do to aid your journey, you need only name it. What would you have of us?
You might have invited them to join us, where there are not so many. Come, they are waiting. What is your will, O Warrior of Darkness?
Looking to reach me in the depths of the Tempest, you try to employ the aid of Bismarck, an ancient Fae.
Wir Sach, Bilang Bismail. Fallen si lor wislan, ada si alina.
Van urs atslir, olfod thim, iri guath thi.
Oh dear. I don't need to speak Fae to know that didn't go well.
My snake yak! You've learned to call me at last! And where do you go? On a trip? A journey? I knew you wouldn't give up without a fight. Oh, my precious mortal, I shall help you in any way I can. Yes, Bismael wing-picked. Van dromi drom Jacob. Van Read Rithje.
Ahai ona, sa hawin wisk. Isnerim, sor fierlo.
Be sure to scrub this one's teeth for him upon your return. It's only good manners.
It will be done, Your Majesty. Our deepest thanks for your timely intervention.
An agreement is reached and your departure is at hand. You wingless ones best hold on tight. May the blessings of the Fae keep you safe, Inba.
Lo fallo ruis. Van in narsitar. Dir sitagnai.
And just like that, it's all gone back to the way it was.
What was you expecting? 100 years of honey and rainbows? Seeing them Yulmore types wake up and smell the ashes was miracle enough for me.
The magic in the air when that ladder started moving. And when that great hulking Talos rose up. Gods. I could live 1,000 years and never behold anything so amazing.
What the? Do you see that?
What a monster! Where did it even come from?
Whoa, yeah!
It's not stopping. Run! Run!
Vanana Anna. Tilden Sino. Iri Halbsi. Thunne. Aktva Thon Yasni. Tagnai.
Wow.
The breath of Bismarck. It's See how it swells to form a dome beneath the waves? The waters recede. The tempest's floor is laid bare. In defiance of the blinding sky, this place holds fast to its gloom. The last refuge of he who denies the light with every fiber of his being. You stand at the precipice, hero. Journey unto the heart of darkness. Finish it.
The local tribe of fishmen is not exactly happy about Bismarck's breath filling the seafloor with air. However, it is not their greatest concern right now. For ages, they have been waiting for the ancients to return. And it seems like they finally have. A few days ago, inexplicable lights illuminated the depths. You help them fashion an offering to the ancients, made of a spent crystal of light of one of Ardbert's comrades.
O stewards of the Ondo, we offer up our light in answer.
That crystal you showed the artisan. Was it... Did it belong to one of my friends? I tried to give you a measure of privacy. No one wants a spirit looking over their shoulder every moment of the day. So tell me, if you would, how did you come across that crystal? I was right then. Strange that I should learn such things now, after they're long gone. They were fine friends, every one of them. I didn't expect death to teach me so much. About them, about Seto, about you, about the hope that hides at the heart of this world. I've never been one for idle chit-chat, but if by some miracle I could see them all again, I doubt I would ever stop talking. I'm grateful I got to bend your ear at least. And just for that, I reckon I'll stick with you to the very end.
Apologies, we were a little late to the gathering.
It seems we succeeded in gaining their trust.
The delay wasn't exactly welcome, but at least our many hands made light work. And they seemed especially impressed with your contribution. Our hero indeed.
Y'shtola was telling us those structures may date back to the age of the Ascians.
An Ascian homeland. Despite his many protestations, I never quite believed Emmett Selk was telling the truth.
Nor I. But there is no denying the evidence before our eyes. Clearly this was once a great city. A home they would see restored, no matter how many tens of thousands of years it takes.
It's a hollow dream when you think about it. Even if they manage to rejoin all the worlds, they'll never bring back the ones who were lost. But would I have done any different?
How are you feeling?
You have completed your devotions?
Yes. To the honored ancients have we offered up our prayers and our gratitude. You too have our thanks.
Might we trouble thee then to tell us more of the illuminated land of which thou didst lately speak?
To the west of here lies a great trench. Some days ago, a light appeared in that endless darkness. Curious, we ventured closer and discovered in the depths an entire city. The buildings we spied were akin to our own everlasting abodes. Impossibly so. We understood at once the ancients had risen. There could be no doubt. Taken with terror, we retreated to the cups, and I decreed that none should enter the trench until such time as we received a sign.
Might it still be possible to reach this city of the ancients?
With no water to drown you, a finless one could now travel there. Yes. I am convinced you are the sign for which we have been waiting. My people will show you the way.
Shall we?
The seafloor bare in front of you, you begin your descent.
By the gods!
When the Ondo spoke of a city, I did not think they meant an actual city.
Then we are seeing the same view. The remnants in the Ondo settlement were solid, material structures. But these... everything here pulses with ether. 'Tis an enchantment on a monumental scale. Look closely. Emmet Selk has not simply reclaimed these ruins. He has layered the semblance of an entire city upon them.
Gods. The magnitude of his artifice is staggering. Though it pains me to admit, we did not fully understand the feats of which an old-world Ascian is capable.
Look at the size of those doors. Now I know how pixies must feel.
Warrior of Darkness recognized. Welcome to the City of Amarat. Will you be riding the lift?
What? Did the building just welcome you?
Mayhap it is not so passing strange. Did Emmet Selk not invite our friend to visit his abode? 'Tis plain thy coming was expected.
And where will this lift be taking us?
The lift services every level of Akora Heights, but is presently configured to convey passengers directly to the ground floor.
Well, there you have it. In the absence of some few hundred yards of rope, we have little choice but to accept the offer.
With emphasis on the we. I'm not about to let you walk into that place alone.
As you wish. The lift will arrive shortly. Next stop, ground floor. Facilities include the Bureau of the Administrator, the Bureau of the Architect, and the Capitol.
It's only at this distance that you start to realize just how big the buildings truly are. What did that voice call the city? Amarot?
Look, over there.
Is that a person?
Ah, no, my mistake. That's a giant. It doesn't seem to have noticed us yet.
Giant or no, a resident of this place may have much and more to tell us. I say we make the first move.
Alphino, you can't just... Ugh!
Pray excuse my boldness, but might I ask you a few questions?
Oh, what adorable costumes. Are you children on an excursion? This district has much to teach you.
How odd. That sounded like no language I've ever heard, and yet I understood every word.
Just as he understood us.
Ahem. And which district is this, exactly?
You must be lost, poor things. You stand in the Polyluritai district, wherein lie the institutions most vital to the management of our star. I see. You've come to marvel at the workings of the Convocation of 14. Hardly surprising, I suppose. The whole world holds its breath as the final days draw near, and our brightest minds race to implement their plans. Thus you must understand that gaining an audience at this time will be next to impossible. You should hurry home now, before your families begin to worry. Do you need me to walk you back?
No, thank you. We will be fine.
Very well. Take care, little ones.
What was that all about? To my eyes, these people appear as arcane entities. I suspect Emmett Selk wove them from ether, much as he reconstructed the rest of the city.
The final days. Such words well befit the oblivion described to us by our Ascian foe. A catastrophe of unprecedented scale, which did set in motion the summoning of Zodiac, and thence Hydaelyn herself.
But that happened centuries and centuries ago, didn't it? The man spoke as if they were rushing to avert a disaster here and now.
Unless. For these people, the distant past is the here and now.
I believe thou hast the right of it, Master Alphino. This ethereal Amarot and its residents appear to be phantoms of a different age. Emmett Selk hath resurrected a memory, a moment in time from before the star was sundered.
So, we find ourselves in a long-destroyed city inhabited by the long-departed. An unusual situation, to be sure, but at least we're able to parley with these ancients. In fact, they seem downright eager to chat. I say we use this to our advantage. Split up, strike up some conversations, and see if we can't learn the location of our quarry. And while we're at it, it wouldn't hurt to wheedle out a few more details regarding this Convocation of 14 and their impending disaster. To mingling, then. Let's meet back here when our jaws start aching.
Good gracious, child, where is your family? You should not be alone at a time like this. Run along home, quickly now. Have you not heard? Though yet confined to the lands across the sea, a terrible phenomenon afflicts our star. They are calling it the final days. It is said it starts suddenly, a cacophonous keening from beneath the earth. The sound distorts all living things within earshot, and wrests from us control of our creation magics. Once that happens, all is lost. Fear, pain, despair, every dread impulse is siphoned from our minds and given substance. An eternal fall of fiery rain, an incessant spawning of nightmarish beasts. None can point to the source of the phenomenon. 'Tis as if the star itself has fallen ill, as if a force inimical to life now festers and spreads. 'Tis only a matter of time until Amarot, too, resounds to that discordant squall. You should stay with your loved ones, child. Stay with them.
Twould seem the hall is host to a most precocious visitor this day. And what, pray tell, shall be the subject of our discussion, young one? Ah, the convocation, and their handling of the coming peril. 'Tis only natural that you should have questions. Shall we begin with members themselves? As all know, the 14 are the wisest and most puissant among us. They are stewards of order, responsible for decisions which keep this star turning season after season. Be that the speaker, La Habrea, or the emissary, Elidibus, each seat is occupied by an elected sage of surpassing intellect. Logrif, Mitron, Emetselk. Their individual titles have, as a gesture of respect and a matter of tradition, become synonymous with their incumbents. Thus it is with great incredulity that I greet this recent rumor that a seat in the convocation is soon to be left vacant. If proven true, 'twould be an unprecedented development, and testament to the immense pressure under which our saviors are toiling. In any event, I for one am confident they shall deliver our star unto salvation.
An audience with Emmett Selk? I'm afraid you have the wrong office, little one. And besides, he will be far too busy to field the questions of curious children. Surely you have been told of the looming catastrophe. Every resource available to the convocation must be spent upon ensuring our world survives. They have yet to make an official announcement, but it is said the 14 are moving forward with a plan of scarce, credible proportions. One which promises to grant will to the very star itself. They will invoke our mightiest spells of creation to birth an entity of all-encompassing magnificence. And then they will rewrite the laws of existence. It is a huge undertaking, and it must be completed ere the corruption spreads this far. Thus, I say to you again, do not hold out hope for an audience.
Twould seem our conversations were much alike. A looming disaster, creation magics running rampart, and this convocation's effort to bring salvation out of chaos.
I suppose there was talk of little else in the time when these events came to pass.
Urianger, if I may. What are your thoughts on the ancients' art of creation?
A fascinating discipline indeed. Aught the mind can conceive may be rendered in reality. All that is required is a clear concept upon which to focus one's will. 'Tis not dissimilar to the primal rites taught by the Asians, wherein ritual ceremony breathes life into figments of myth and legend.
I see we arrived at the same conclusion then. The people who lived in the age before Sundering were blessed with vast reserves of mana. No matter how draining these creation magics must be, it seems they paid the cost with naught more than a fraction of the ether which coursed through their own bodies. If we were to attempt the same, such spells would soon deplete our energies, and then seek to draw the balance from elsewhere. From a hoard of crystals, mayhap, or from the very land itself. Thus, when this art of creation was placed into our hands, it became, in effect, a means for destruction.
An interesting matter which no doubt bears further study, but despite all these revelations, I worry we are no closer to finding Emmett Selk. Has anyone learned aught which might lead us to his location?
Not directly, mayhap, but from what we've heard, it seems the Convocation of 14 is sequestered in the nearby Capitol building.
When we went to see for ourselves, the attendant wouldn't let us through without a writ of permission. So we tried our luck at the Bureau of the Administrator, where we thought these permissions might be issued. But the clerk there said he couldn't help us since our names didn't appear in the registry.
And that was where we gave up. I wonder though, my friend, could you be eligible for one of these writs?
The voice in the lift seemed to know who you were.
It might be that your name is registered at the bureaus as well. Worth a look, I'd say. Meanwhile, I'll head back to the capital and search for a less official point of entry, just in case.
Pray allow me to accompany thee on thy reconnaissance. An arcane perspective may prove needful.
I think I'd like to speak with more of these ancients. Maybe they know something that could help cure our friend's condition. Would you mind coming with me?
Of course I don't mind. Just lead the way.
Then Ishtola and I will busy ourselves with further exploration. There is surely more intelligence to be had. And so we part ways once more.
This time, however, let us reconvene in front of the capital.
Next, please. Visiting the capital, are we? Please, take a seat. Your name will be called once your application has been processed.
May I?
You, I think, are from a time beyond ours. Have you followed in the wake of Emmett Selk? Nay, there is no cause for alarm. I am simply a shade, here and not here. I know only that my name is Hythlodaeus, and that this city is a recreation, a phantom moment plucked from the well of history. The others seem unaware of their pale existence, but I wonder if Emmett Selk's mind was distracted when it came to my reconstitution. A stray thought would have been enough. Hythlodaeus will realize the truth, for example. We were close friends once, you see. Yet in spite of my perception, I play the same role as all the rest. A bit part, meant to bring colour and noise to this well-crafted stage. Too much scrutiny, and we shall burst like the fragile bubbles we are. Thus, I tell you again, my presence is naught to concern you. I wish only to share your company whilst we wait. If you've come this far, then you know of the catastrophe which awaits us on our morrow. The final days. What began as isolated incidents soon swelled into a world-spanning threat. The Convocation of 14, well, it was 13 at the time, endeavoured to create a will for our star. They would repair the fundamental laws of order and halt the spread of destruction. But creation on such a scale required an immense source of power. Of those who still lived, nearly half offered up their lives in the name of salvation. And from their sacrifice, Zodiac was born. Just as we had hoped, he reached forth and halted the march of oblivion. Yet oh, how the star had suffered. So many species lost. The land was blighted, the waters poisoned, and even the wind had ceased to blow. Once more did our people give of themselves to Zodiac. Another half of our race sacrificed to cleanse the world. to ensure that trees and grasses and myriad tiny lives would sprout and grow and flourish. The cycle of life had begun anew, and we reconsidered the means by which we might protect it. The convocation decided thus. We would nurture our world until it was bursting with vitality. Then, when the time was right, we would offer some portion of its living energy to Zodiac. In return, he would restore to us those brethren whose souls had fed his strength, and together we would resume our role as stewards. There were, however, those who disagreed with this plan. They argued that enough had been sacrificed to Zodiac, that this new world should belong to the lives newly born. These dissidents surrendered their life energies in the creation of Heidelin, an incarnation of their opposing belief. And for the first time in history, our people stood divided. Know you then how this conflict ended? I thought you might. Emmett Selk has ever been a champion for the will of Zodiac. The original plan may have been set back by millennia, but he will have not abandoned his course. He will pay the price for our return, by whatever means is necessary. And though he may carry himself with a certain glib ease, Emmett Selk is not a man to bear his burdens lightly. In fact, I imagine they have only grown heavier with every passing century. It is truly a terrible weight he has chosen to carry.
Sir, your application has been processed.
It seems your turn has come. Pray do not let me keep you. There was one last thing. You walk with another at your side, yes? Nay, I see no definite form. Just the faintest suggestion of a second soul. I doubt invisible to anyone but me. Otherwise, I assume only you can see and hear this ethereal companion. Your connection is hardly a coincidence. In our time, the two of you were one. The colour of your souls tells the tale. A hue that distinctive cannot be mistaken, no matter how thin the soul is spread. This is just the kind of fate I might expect for one such as he. Surely Emmett Selk has recognized the hint of him in you.
Sir?
Fare you well, my new old friend. May you find what it is you seek.
This really is unacceptable. I gave you very specific instructions.
Emmett Selk.
My invitation was for an abomination, ripe with the power to bring about the world's annihilation. Not this half-broken thing. Whatever am I to do with you? And I see you insist on keeping the same familiar company. Are you so lost without them?
It is not he who is lost without the familiar. Not content with remaking an entire city, you aim to fill it with the reconstituted souls of the dead.
I may have gotten a little carried away in my attention to detail, added a few unnecessary flourishes. Well, there's no point trying to hide it. Yes. Once the rejoining of worlds is complete, Zodiac will regain his full strength and shatter his prison. Then we shall offer up the Source's remaining inhabitants in sacrifice, that we might resurrect our brethren who died to bring Zodiac into existence. But what was it that you came here to do exactly? Did you now? One last do-or-die attempt to foil my plans before your mind dissolves into madness? How very, very heroic of you. In every single age, there is always someone who wants to stand up to the evil Asians. Always the same arrogance, the same insistence that the world belongs to them, as if theirs were the only rightful claim, theirs the only existence worthy of preservation. Even now, after everything, you refuse to see reason. You think it unfair that you are subject to suffering? That your lives will be sacrificed for the ancients? Look at me! I have lived 1,000 of your lives. I have broken bread with you, fought with you, grown ill, grown old, sired children, and yes, welcomed death's sweet embrace. For eons have I measured your worth and found you wanting. Too weak and feeble-minded to serve as stewards of any star. Have your recent spats with Vorthri and his Sin Eaters taught you nothing? Have you not learned that your ignorance and frailty beget only endless misery? How long do you mean to perpetuate this farce? How much more must I endure your bumbling interference? Let us imagine that the laws of reality are again undone and the world faces true annihilation. Do you honestly believe that half your number would sacrifice themselves to save the other? Of course they wouldn't! And if you had witnessed history unfold as I have, you would reach the same conclusion. You cannot be entrusted with our legacy. I will bring back our brethren, our friends, our loved ones. The world belongs to us and us alone.
Selk! We understand, truly, but it makes no difference. The ones you love are in the past, while ours are here in the present. One day, we too will be ashes and dust, but not today. Our time is not yet finished. We share your conviction, and that is why we will not abandon our course.
You think us the same? You think your tattered soul of equal worth to those I lost? Then come. Earn your place. Prove yourselves worthy to inherit this star. End of our era and the beginning of our great work. A fitting backdrop for your final judgment. I shall wait within, but do not spend too much time on your preparations. There's no telling how much longer the guest of honor will last. Welcome to the final days of Amarot. The fabric of our star began to fray, and the unchecked energies of creation begat malformed beasts.
And lo, vile beasts did rise, leaving naught in their wake but blood and ash. Thus did the first doom befall us.
Just as prayer gives rise to primaries, our dread made manifest our deepest fears.
The first beast was striking in its unsightliness. As if to scour away all life, it called down a cataclysmic deluge. Yet even its defeat did not halt the march of oblivion.
The land buckled. The cities burned. The waters ran red with blood.
It would not, however, prove the last. For soon did the sun bend low, scorching earth and boiling seas. Thus did the second doom break us. The beast bellows and gives birth to terror. A terror which in turn gives birth to new beasts. Its gaze turns skyward, and fiery rain falls from the heavens. Once the fear takes root, it cannot be expunged. As if feeding upon the horror, the beast bloats, then shivers, then ruptures.
Yet this is far from the worst of it. Come, and I will show you. Just a little further, and you will see the end of a world. The star was fading. We saw we had to weave its laws anew. But between us and our goal loomed a final misbegotten fiend.
Yet it was neither claw nor flame, but our very sins, stacked to the heavens, where they took root, corrupting its halls. Thus did the third doom undo us. Its voice was fulgent destruction, and none could stand in its path. And as it edged inexorably close, we knew. Without decisive sacrifice, our star would surely perish. Well, well, you prevailed. Nevertheless... Your performance was underwhelming, and I remain unconvinced of your worthiness. Oh, you tower over your misbegotten ilk, no doubt. But should I bring my full strength to bear, well, you would be as leaves in the wind. The gulf between us is a reflection of the disparity between the world as it was and what it has become.
Our worlds may not live up to your lofty standards, but they are our worlds, our homes, full of life and love and hope. And we won't stand by and let you destroy them!
Alice!
You are a mistake. For we who have known perfection, the shattered source and these shards are ghastly mockeries of the true world. The ephemeral lives you exalt are pale imitations, utterly devoid of meaning.
Belittle us all you like, but we will rise again and again, and give the lie to your insults through word and deed. We define our worth, not the circumstances of our creation.
More prattle. Fool. Who are you? No one. Nothing. Once I have reclaimed my heritage, my first act will be to expunge your stain from history's weave. My world will have no need for heroes. Still fighting the good fight.
It is true that all we hold dear is fated to fade away. But that is no reason for us to forsake it.
To take what steps we may, and thus mark the road for those who would follow. To strive for the best of all futures. Be this not also thy purpose?
Do not presume to speak of my future. And you? Why waste your final moments in futile defiance? Weary wanderer, you've no fight left to fight, no life left to live. You see, the light will not be denied. Surrender to your fate, and let the transformation take you. Rise up in madness and fury. Devour the vermin infesting the land which is rightfully ours. Now, Reed! Now!
Fight it! You have to hold on!
If you had the strength to take another step, could you do it? Could you save our worlds?
take it. We fight as one. This world is not yours to end. This is our future. Our story.
No, it can't be.
That trick of the light. You are a broken husk, nothing more. How can you hope to stand against me alone?
We stand together!
How... I'm surprised you can stand at all.
I could not well leave matters half-finished. Let expanse contract, eon become instant. Champions from beyond the rift, heed my call!
Damn you all!
I challenge you, Emmett Selk.
Very well. Let us proceed to your final judgment. The victor shall write the tale, and the vanquished become its villain. But come, let us cast aside titles and pretense, and reveal our true faces to one another.
I am Hades, he who shall awaken our brethren from their dark slumber.
Show me your vaunted strength, and I shall expose the lie of your fragmented existence. You are destined for naught else but oblivion! Darkness reigns! Flee, fool! You are wood! Your aim is mine to command!
Give voice to your anguish, my brethren. Give substance to our hopes, our dreams, our prayers. And by their undeniable grace, may our perfect world rise anew. Yawn wide. The ever-hungering void. Devour the light and return all to darkness. Impressive resilience. I am stifled by this vessel of flesh.
Unburden your sleeping souls, my brethren. I shall bear every hope, every dream, every prayer. The future of these stars shall be shaped by my hands. I shall be raised up by the prayers of my holy brethren. Behold, a sorcerer of El, tremble before my glory. my dormant breath, dream now of a dark tomorrow. Bio-gathered might must reclaim its vain reflections. In Zodiac's name, I beseech you! Has the warden's eye gone free? No. Damn you! Damn your wretched blessing! I will extinguish the spark of your miserable lives! The world and every life upon it! Our tragedy must never again come to pass! You have no power over me. I will not yield. Should I some enemies fight, what will become of it all? What will become of our dreams? Our desire?
Enough, damn you!
Infernal strength!
Now! Strike with all thy might!
Remember. Remember us. Remember that we once lived.
It's over. Emmett Selk is no more.
More importantly, how do you fare?
What dost thou see?
His ether. It is as it used to be. As a disciple of Zodiac, the Ascian was the darkness to your light. I can but assume that when you set your strength against his, the light within you was spent.
No, it's more than that. Under the strain of that incredible flood of ether, your soul had begun to break apart, yet now it seems somehow restored. I tried to help you before the battle, but Emmett Selk stopped me. So, how did you... exactly what did you... Can you tell us what happened? I see.
Where to start? I believe I owe you all an apology. And you, most especially. Well, 'tis good to be awake. As ether obeys the cycle, as death and decay gives way to new life, so too do the memories we share inspire others to rise to greatness. For we who walk before may lead those who walk after. Your road goes ever on, as does your story, as does your legacy. Such is the hero's lot, to touch the lives of countless others.
Excuse me? You're the Warrior of Darkness, aren't you? Where are you from, really? And how did you get to be so strong?